Hi, Thea, my precious girl. You're such a sweet girl. I'm gonna miss you, my darling. You're such a good girl. Well, I say I'm gonna miss her because Thea is dying. And it's one of those things that is a total mystery. Good morning, everybody. As you saw, I have a sweet little barred rock hen who is dying. This video is for basically the new chicken keeper. I remember those days. It's so exciting and it's so fun, and you're getting hooked on it, and you're seeing the personalities, and you're really getting into it, and you're learning and getting into routines, and they're becoming part of the family pretty much. And then the first one dies, and you may not see it coming. I know my first death in my original flock was very sudden. They had just turned 2 years old and boom, found her dead. The day before, she seemed a little lethargic, and she was sitting, you know, in a shady spot on a very cold day instead of in the sun. And I said, "Lacey, why aren't you in the sunshine? It's kind of cool, girl." I picked her up, looked her over, nothing wrong. Found her dead. And when I opened her up, because I'd done some research already, found egg yolk all in her abdomen. So she had egg yolk peritonitis, basically, and then they just started dropping like flies. Of course, I've not had that happen much at all. I don't think I've even had a case of egg yolk peritonitis since I don't have any more hatchery stock or any daughters of hatchery stock. But that's neither here nor there. My hen now, who's dying, she's only 4 years old. She turned 4 years old in June. She's one of Hector's sisters. I don't breed from Thea because she has rye tail. That's a genetic thing, and I don't, you know, it's just not visually pretty, and it kind of does pass on, so I've never bred from Thea. She's kind of small-bodied. She's not a large hen, but she's the sweetest hen on the planet. She's just a doll. She loves to be held. She loves to hug. She's just the best little hen. She's a typical barred rock hen, what a barred rock hen usually is supposed to be. And I noticed something was wrong with her a few weeks ago. About 3 weeks ago maybe, and her crop was very sluggish, and I started working on it thinking, have you been in that compost pile? Because the compost, if they get in the bottom of it, and they stick their head through the fence, and they get to somewhere around the bottom when it starts burgeoning against the fence, they can find some moldy feed or something that's in there. So I didn't know she'd done that, because that's where she likes to mess around. But I got her crop, you know, working a little bit better, and it was fine. It worked itself out. But this is something you will learn over time. The crop is generally a symptom of something else going on internally, not the main problem. It's what you can see, what we can see, what we can observe, and we can work on it, but it's not usually the main problem. The crop is usually a barometer of something internal. But, you know, I worked on the crop and it was functioning because I don't want her to starve. You know, her food cannot be processed if the crop is impacted. And it was working better, and I got her special food, and she doesn't want to eat some of the special food, which is, you know, scrambled eggs. I mean, what chicken doesn't want to eat scrambled eggs? Well, she was eating unlimited. You know, you keep the little grains away from them, because any crop issue, they don't need a bunch of little grains like in a scratch mix. They don't need that. They need their pelleted feed, or they need something soft like yogurt, eggs, unflavored, unsweetened yogurt, not flavored yogurt. You don't want any sugar in there. But, you know, overall what happened was I worked on her. She didn't get better. She started losing weight. She started losing energy. Now her comb is purplish and shrunken. She's very weak. She stumbles when she tries to stand up, and she's dying. There's no question, she's dying. The hens do not come back from the condition that she's in. The kicker is, I have no idea why. I have absolutely no idea why. 4 years old is not, you know, she's not a spring chicken, for lack of a better term, but that's very young for my flock. I mean, I usually have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, even 13 years old. But I've never had this line of barred rocks before. This was a new line for me. My Marvin Stuckel line barred rocks and my other line of barred rocks, you know, my hatcheries, well, the hatchery male, don't forget that, but the Marvin Stuckel line of barred rocks, and then the Delawares that I had to introduce in there to, well, that's a whole other story too, but they're longer lived. For instance, you know, the last one I have of that line is 9 years old. Even the rooster, he's 6 1/2. But here's Thea at 4 years old, dying, and from something mysterious. It's not lice before you start saying, is it this, is it that, have you checked? I've been through this so many times and had so many mysteries. She doesn't have worms, she doesn't have lice or mites. She has healthy and no one else has any issues. This is something to do with her. Now, could it be that this line just doesn't have that great a longevity? Possibly. Her sister died at 1 year old. That was a shocker. Didn't know what was wrong with her either. I thought she was injured. So this line may not be as long-lived as the other one, but what I'm trying to tell you is, no matter how much knowledge that you have, no matter how much experience you have, no matter how much book knowledge, how much hands-on knowledge, how much hands-on experience, you will have these mysteries that will not be solved. Even if I open her up when she dies and I look at her heart and I look at her liver and the condition of her intestines, I still may not be able to figure out what happened. I have visuals of what a healthy liver looks like. I know what that looks like. I know what a healthy heart looks like. But say those look fine, I will still have a mystery on my hands. So I'm going to have to go out there and dig a hole for Thea. Not easy with my knee because it's my right knee and I'm right-handed. That's the side I use. But I wanted to say all this to tell you newer chicken keepers that when you start experiencing the deaths in the flock and you know you've done everything good, you've got the proper environment, you've got it, their environment is dry inside, they don't have worms, they've got a good dust bath, they're healthy, and one dies, and you've clicked off all the boxes of everything you've done and you can't find anything you've done wrong, forgive yourself and know that you probably didn't do anything wrong. That there are things beyond the textbook, far beyond the textbook. I've seen such crazy non-textbook things, and I have quite a library of chicken textbooks, and they don't address a lot of things I've had to deal with. So many things are not even in the textbook. A lot of chicken keeping, but this part is rarely in there. And all you can do is all you can do. Do the best you can do. Give them healthy food, commensurate with their age and their function. Give them a good dry environment. Make sure they are wormed, you know, whenever periodically with something that's effective like Valbazen. Maybe at least once a year, maybe. Make sure they have good dust bathing areas. And you know, if you think there might be a lice or a mite problem, get some poultry dust and dust under the wings and around their tushy. Keep DE, diatomaceous sprinkled in the nest boxes. You know, just do the best you can do. And when you've done all you can and somebody still dies and you don't have a clue why, forgive yourself. Okay? Because it happens. Even I've had some crazy mysteries. And it's possible they sometimes chickens are injured and they have internal injuries and you don't realize that. She doesn't appear to have been injured. My gut says it's not an injury. So, God bless her. I love Thea and I'm going to miss her so much. But it's beyond my control. So, that's all I have to say today. And, you know, there may not be an answer for you. Sometimes there isn't one. Talk to y'all later.